Let me welcome everybody to the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, scaling your business, taking it to the next level. The Chamber is always excited to bring what we consider to be content and things that will help us move Black businesses to the next level. That's why we exist. And we're excited today to bring two individuals here that will actually allow us to help you do just that. And we're excited about what we're going to share today with you today. And I'm going to first start with just making sure that people understand the mission of the Chamber is to economic empower and sustain the African American community through entrepreneurship and capitalist activity via interaction with our National Black Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., throughout the Black diaspora. And we have a real global focus. I was giving kudos to our president, Charles DeBow. I don't know if Charles is on the call right now, but we were in DC just recently on Capitol Hill having a robust conversation with the administration, with some of the leaders, with the SBA. There's some exciting things that they may be doing that we can benefit from. But today we have two primary focus. We have a young lady by the name of Dr. Erica Blakely. She is going to kind of talk first a little bit about, since this is tax season, she's going to give a brief highlight of some of the things that she's partnering with the chamber to do to help chamber businesses as it relates to taxes. And then after that, we're going to have Tony with Remote Works, who are going to be giving a presentation on a real game changer for businesses in terms of scaling up. I'm just going to make a few comments about Tony before he comes on. You know, every now and then you run into someone who really has something that really kind of can shift the paradigm in such a way that it can have an enormous impact upon Black businesses. And as all of us know that most of our businesses that we have, 94% are really solopreneurs. Um, and that means that in most cases, most of the businesses are doing about $50,000 a year in revenue. But the statistic shows with the SBA that when businesses have 4 employees or more, that revenue goes to 400,000 plus. Tony has a concept that I'm so excited about to bring to our members and to our friends, something that really is a game changer. I'm excited to present to you the one and only Tony, who has an incredible system that will allow us to scale up. So, Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can take us to the promised land.
Very good. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ivory. I mean, first of all, I don't know if everybody on this call has a connection with Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. And I think that if you don't have a connection, I think you should have a connection. And I think you should make sure you get a connection, be a member. Community is important, okay? Being part of a circle of people is really, really worth it. Helps with the networking you need to accomplish the things you need to accomplish. And when I think about, the shifts I've made in my life and all the networks and the communities that I've, kind of hung in and be part of was a big part of what I am. It made me smarter, it made me resilient. So I was, it's very important to be part of a community. And I think that what Dr. Ivory is doing is incredible in the state of Illinois. And I think that if you have intentions of moving from being a freelancer to an entrepreneur, you need to be part of a community. And the Illinois State Black Chamber is it's a group that you need to make sure that you're part of. Okay, I just want to start with that. Okay, very good, very good. Let me share my screen here. So piggybacking off of what Dr. Ivory was talking about, we wanted to sort of talk about, the notion of sort of creating the conditions for growth. This is the beginning of 2026, and there are certain seeds that you need to plant and so that you have a good year. One key element of that is sort of stop hiring yourself. And we're going to talk about that, okay? Because when we talk about, okay, we're talking about not just sort of growing your business, but it's also a personal thing. You know, your business can grow if you don't grow yourself. And it's not easy, okay? Well, it's not easy, it's hard, but the community of the chamber is a big part of helping that, making that easy to do. Okay. Again, my name is Tony Okiria with remoting.work. I have three of my team members here. I have Carolyn Lanton, Director of Operations. Greg, actually, Dr. Blumenthal is a Director of Communication. Aisha also is our manager of partnership. Okay. We'll talk more. So I want to kind of just, give you kind of the journey we've had and what got us to where we are today and see how this can also impact your business. Okay. I like to talk about why we exist. And we exist to reduce business failure when local labor costs are the primary barrier to continued operation and growth. Many businesses, have incredible ideas, but can't take it to where they need to go because they can't hire people. And I want to touch on, Dr. Ivory touched on these solopreneurs, okay? And for me, I would consider those people freelancers, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. So this is huge. The notion that we need to reduce business failure, that if we reduce business failure, there's more wealth created, okay? And there's more jobs created, okay? Huge thing that we need to try and solve. Okay. And what's the problem? 20% of new businesses fail, 50% of businesses fail by year 5. This is a big problem. Many businesses fail. Top reasons is marketing, product market fit, people issues, and obviously cash flow. And the top reasons is marketing, people, and then it goes down to cash flow. Okay. So this is sort of what I think everybody has to understand. You have to figure out, who are you? Are you a freelancer or a solopreneur? Or are you an entrepreneur? Okay. Those two people, and you have to decide what you want to become. You can't be both. Because if you decide I want to be an entrepreneur, there are certain conditions and infrastructure you need to have in place. Or you can be a freelancer. And as a freelancer, you get paid when you do the work, okay? And the only way you grow revenue as a freelancer is actually to get better clients. Because it's hard to be a freelancer for which you do the work yourself, okay? And really expect to grow. It's just very difficult. The only way you can grow is to get better clients, okay? That require better results, okay? And that pay well, okay? And being a freelancer doesn't mean that you have to be the cheapest person in the block, but you may choose that's all I want to do, okay? Most freelancers, oftentimes, they are on their own, doing their own thing. They do the work, okay? So the difference between a freelancer and an entrepreneur is the fact that an entrepreneur, on the other end, okay, they have a different set of goals. So they want to build something bigger than themselves, okay? They want to stand out, okay? They want to build something that other people can run, okay? Okay. They embrace risk, okay? And the fact is, I tell people all the time, if you have to be open to failure, because if you're not open to failure, then it's success, because whatever it is you're talking about doing may not work. And it's okay, because at least you've tried it and okay, it's not going to work, then you go do something different. So embracing failure is just as important as embracing success. I mean, as if I'm a firm believer of that. Okay. So what does entrepreneurs do? Okay. Their job is to hire people to help them carry their mission and their vision to the finish line for them. Okay. They pay people to do the work. They are not the employees. A freelancer, you are the employee. So again, why is this important? Because it's difficult to grow your revenue without deciding what it is you want to do. Do I want to be a freelancer or do I want to be an entrepreneur? If you are a freelancer, you know you're doing the work, okay, 8 to 5. If you're an entrepreneur, you know you have to hire people to do the work. My first venture back a long time ago, 1998, was a tech company, and the first 5 years I didn't pay myself, but we had about 15 people, engineers, because for me it was about I have to build the infrastructure and the operation to run itself, okay? And I'm there just to make sure things, and that's what I did. And so, maybe 7, 8 years later, I called my wife to come help her. She said, well, you need to start paying yourself. So, when you have a tech company, it's very expensive. I mean, you're paying engineers $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year per engineer, okay? And we grew that to over 35 engineers, had very good clients in the area. But you have to understand, for me, I knew that I want to build something that I can sell. I didn't want to do something that I have to do all the work. If that's the case, I might as well just go get a job somewhere. Okay. So you have to decide, am I a freelancer or am I an entrepreneur? This is a big question that you have to ask yourself, because what you have to do for both is different. You have to make it's a risk either way. Okay. So the reason why we're bringing this up is that ends the topic. Stop hiring yourself. Okay. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you decide I am an entrepreneur, then you have to understand that part of the job is you are a leader, okay? Okay, you have authority, okay? Okay, and part of being a leader is you hire people to do the work, so you can go and do the leadership work that you have to do, okay? So why is this important? This is the big problem, okay? I'll tell you this. If you look at this data, so 80% of every business in the US don't have an employee, okay? 96% of minority businesses don't have an employee, okay? And you have to understand, over 50% or 60% of jobs are created by small businesses, by the way. Small businesses are the largest job creators in the US. So we create the jobs, okay? So why is this, that's why you have to decide. Do you want to be that, a freelancer, or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, your role is different, okay? And you hire people to do the work. A freelancer, you hire yourself to do the work, okay? And that's why, or you can call yourself a solopreneur, okay? But understand the impact that this have on yourself if you don't decide which one you want to do. There's a lot of stress in business, okay? Just keeping things afloat, and there's significant impact in your quality of life later on in life if you don't decide what it is you want to do and make the right decisions, okay, along the way, okay? So how do you increase your revenue in 2026, okay? This is the data that Dr. Ivory was talking about. The average solopreneur or freelancer makes somewhere around $50,000 a year. When that solopreneur decide, I want to be an entrepreneur, okay, and they hire 1 to 4 people, their revenue increase significantly. There's data to support this. This is not made up. The fact is, you cannot grow revenue without having an infrastructure and operational support. And that's what I do. Everything I have done, okay, in the past 27 or 28 years is I make sure I have the infrastructure first. That's what I work on. I go hide under the sand and make sure everything is done right before because you really can't get anything done without that, okay? So this is data. This is real. So first of all, you have to make a decision. Do I want to be a freelancer or do I want to be an entrepreneur? Okay, then once you now know that, then the question is, okay, as an entrepreneur, which is what most people want to do, they want to build something that they can sell. They want to build something that they can give to their children. They want to, build something that's bigger than themselves. Okay. When those guys that founded Google, when they founded Google, you think that they hire people to do the work. Okay. And when they walk out of the business, now people are running it, but they still own a portion of the business. So something to consider. So the challenge is you're going to say you don't have the budget to hire locally. You're not alone. What we're saying here is that we want to help you do what Fortune 500 companies are doing. Every major Fortune 500 companies out there that you can think of, probably Fortune 1000 companies, okay, they scale by making sure they have teams outside of the country because they themselves know that, first of all, payroll is about 60-70% of the expense. You can't keep adding payroll. So you have to find an alternative way to hire people to get the things done that you want to get done. So that's what we want to do. That's what we do. Okay. We help you essentially create the conditions for you to securely and safely hire people globally, the same way the Fortune 500 companies do. So how do we do it? Okay. We have a platform. Okay. It's a workforce service platform that helps you grow. Okay. And we connect you with high quality vetted full-time talent from low cost economies around the globe. So you say, why is it low? Well, it's low because the economies that they're from, the economy is low. And our main focus is Africa. Our main focus is Africa. And this 4 or 5 years ago, we experimented with, 3 regions. Again, this is a fact: Philippines, India, and Africa. Okay. And we saw that people were everywhere. So we said, you know what we're going to do? There are not a lot of stuff happening in Africa. We want to focus on Africa. So everything we're doing is all in Africa. Okay. And it's been incredible. Okay. Because the talent there is incredible. They're predicting that, really the growth in Africa over the next 50 years is going to be incredible. And so, you want to be in Africa, okay, before everybody's talking about it. Okay. Just like if you would have gone to China 40 years ago, 50 years ago, things would be different. Yeah. So what does this mean for you? It means that budget to hire people, because you now have decided I want to be an entrepreneur, okay, you'll be saving anywhere from 75 to 80% of your staffing cost. So now you can build a business, okay, without all the overhead that you normally would have to deal with. I know a company, this was years ago, maybe about 12 years ago, they received about $2 million from a very big VC, okay, big name. I'm not going to mention it, but it's a Black lady, okay, $2 million, great idea. So at that time, okay, she didn't know how to hire people globally. So she burnt through 2 million in about 22 months or so. Because again, to hire a developer here, okay, you're paying them, $50, $60, $70 an hour. So it's about, $10,000 to $50,000 a month. That's what you're paying for developers. Okay. That's just the going rate here. So she burned through the cash and she went back to try to raise more money, and no one had an appetite to give her more funding. So she had to close down. So that same lady, if she received the funding today, $2 million, okay, to do the exact same thing, she'll be saving 75 to 80%. Okay. So which means that she wouldn't have to go for another round of funding. She would have an MVP, a minimum viable product, out for people to use with the money that she was given, which was a lot at that time. Interesting. Okay. So one of the key things that makes us very unique is the fact that, because one of the concerns people have is security, and those kinds of things. So we've put together sort of a secure computing environment with guardrails in order to create trust. Okay. What does that mean? It means that, we have what we call our Know Your Global Employee system. Everybody's vetted before you actually interview them. Okay. It's a very, very simple process. You give us the job description, or you use our AI platform that will generate a job description for you. You post it, and everything happens all in the background for you. You get dedicated full-time workers. They work your time zone. So if you are in Chicago time, which is Central Time, they're working 8 to 5. If you want them to work 8 to 5, or 7 to 4, or 9 to 6. Or if you have a business that you need, for 16 hours coverage, now you have a viable option to minimize the expense to get that done. In addition to that, they work from managed work site, okay, not from home. Now, there are certain situations that people work from home because of security reasons, okay? So what we've done, we've created a technology called Face Proctor. And Face Proctor is a technology that uses AI to track people while they're working, and uses that data to create their payroll time, okay? That is then used to pay them, okay? You also they do their work in a PC that resides in the US, a cloud PC through our partnership with Microsoft. So it's a cloud PC that resides in the US. That's what it does. So everything, your data stays in the US, whether or not they are their desk is being managed on your behalf. You don't have to worry about those kinds of things. You don't have to worry about compliance, payroll, time tracking, all those things. All techniques. So what I've done, we've created a secure computing environment with guardrails so that you can trust the system. And everything we do is driven by AI. From the development of the job description to the searching of the people and all that stuff, until you get 3 to 5 candidates you will interview. The 3 to 5 people that you will talk to, that you will interview. Okay. What does this mean? There's no W-2. There's no 1099. Okay. We are the employer of record. We manage everything for you. You think of it as a Netflix subscription in a sense. Okay. You pay Netflix one fee and they give you content for you to consume. You don't worry about what happens in the background, because you don't need to worry about that. That's a whole different beast. Okay. So the areas of focus, all the major technology stuff, accounting, digital marketing, all the creative stuff, even legal stuff. There are small law firms that need a paralegal. They can't afford a paralegal, but they need a legal research assistant. Yeah. So we cover many areas, okay, and to help, find and give you the people you need. Again, this is a game changer. I'll tell you this. We have there's a separate entity, that was started purely based on talent from us. They have maybe one or two person here, but because they had no choice, okay, they needed a 24/7 operation to do things. And this was an economical way to get it done. Incredible. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that we have Carolyn. Is any of the folks here, let's say, is Alan here, and is and Sylvester here? Please check on that. So we have some individuals that were going to come and tell their story on their use of the platform. And so we have them coming in very, very soon. While we are waiting, what questions do you guys have? Any questions? You can unmute and ask.
I have one. Hi, this is Jerry. Good presentation. Are you going to have this PowerPoint presented to the attendees?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
So Tony, let me start. Is that I am a benefactor already. I don't know if Donald Patterson is on also, Tony, but we hired a young lady named Favor who has been just everything we thought we wanted and more. And not only she worked 40 hours a week, but she has been very helpful in terms of catching things that we missed. And she is an incredible asset. She costs me about $1,300 a month, and she works 40 hours a week. That's a game changer for us. We're going to be hiring several more people, a website and other areas of expertise that we need. That's going to allow us really to scale up and do more things at the same time. So it's a tremendous benefit to the chamber already. And I think Robert Johnson is looking at doing that also. And I don't know if Donald Patterson is he's on the call or not, but Donald has just hired a couple people himself. Is
Yeah,
Donald?
Hi, I'm Manza
Hi, everybody.
Presswood.
Did you say my
I
name?
am a concrete contractor. I want to know, have you guys dealt with any construction companies?
Let me, I want to share some real quick. So this is a, I would say, I'm not sure if you guys can see my screen. Where is it? It's a non-traditional company that you would think wouldn't need this service. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is it of a
let me.
woman?
Yes,
Yes.
it's a woman. Yeah, I want to play this so that then I'm going to answer your question, James.
And Ellen is
Hey
on.
y'all, I'm Janice with Bluff City Parties and Events, and we bring the fun to you.
It didn't come
We
through right.
hired our very first virtual assistant through remoting.work.
Did you hear that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey y'all, I'm Janice with Bluff City Parties and Events, and we bring the fun to you. Guess what? We hired our very first virtual assistant through remoting.work. See, I met Miss Carolyn Langton at one of the Black Chamber of Memphis's events. Perfect timing. We discussed briefly about what she does, what we do, and she said, "Hey, give me a call. I might be able to help you." Y'all, I made the call, and I'm so glad that I did. Y'all, I was hesitant, unsure, and reluctant to hire a virtual assistant. But when I talked with Ms. Lanton, she assured me that if she could find the right one, it will be a good fit for us. Miss Carolyn and her entire staff have been nothing but professional, answered all of my questions, no matter how many of them I had. Because I had a lot of questions, because I be wanting to know. Anytime I had an issue or circumstance or situation that arrived, I received a prompt response within 24 hours. That matters. That makes a big difference to help me out. Y'all, they found the applicants, they did the applications, they did the screenings, they set up the interviews that I was able to administer. I had the opportunity to choose between five highly qualified individuals. It made my decision a little difficult, but that was a good problem to have, a good challenge to have. Being able to choose the best among the best person that I selected has been awesome and amazing. She came in immediately. She is proactive. She wants to help us, help our business. As an entrepreneur, we wear many hats, especially in the beginning phases or even when we're not quite able to hire a full time staff. It makes a difference. Wearing all those hats, you get overwhelmed. Ball gets dropped. Sometimes we miss customers just because we just physically can't do everything. That's where remoting.work came in to help me hire an assistant that takes a load off of my plate. And I appreciate them for all that they do. Our virtual assistant has made our lives so much easier. Again, I recommend remoting.work because they work. Their people work. It's a great fit. My virtual assistant makes my life easier, helps my business flow better, and it's just a great fit for us. I'm excited about 2020 and what the future holds. This year is going to be awesome and amazing, and I'm excited to be a part of the remoting.work family. Y'all should join too. Check them out. I'm so glad that I was able
Okay. Okay.
to make the decision to hire a virtual assistant, and I couldn't have done it without remoting.work.
Okay. Anyway, so
I have a
yes.
question.
Right.
This is Pastor Sheila Brown. I'm president of the Rockford Black Chamber of Commerce. And I want to say help. We just, and Larry is my mentor who I am so grateful to have a part of my life and helping me move forward with our chamber here. But I'm also a pastor here again in the Rockford area. We were just donated a 706,000 square foot hospital. And so we're in the process of repurposing it, as well as we're getting moved to the position to start a hiring process. We want to facilitate an urgent care possibly a hospital. We're looking at also doing maybe some business hubs there. It's going to be a multi-use facility that will be an ecosystem to support the west side of Rockford, which is predominantly, it's the underserved area in the Rockford community. So I definitely need your support and help. And my other question is, we also have a daycare facility. Do you work with daycares as far as, because I'm the director of the daycare, but obviously I'm going to be transitioning out of that position. And I was just having a conversation with my daughter about what we were going to do regarding looking for someone to replace me at the daycare, because my hands is obviously going to be full with the hospital. So do you work with daycare centers as well? And yes, I need help, and help. There you go.
Yes. Yes, not every role can be done virtually, but the roles, and what we'll typically do is you have a conversation with Carolyn, and Carolyn will walk you through all that stuff. We go through a very detailed process. But I want to get James, but thank you, Pastor Sheila Mead. And then they will then devise, the roles that could be outsourced. And so, Carolyn, and we'll reach out to you. We'll get your information, Mansa. But before, just for the sake of time, because I know so Alan and Sylvester are here. Are you guys here?
See,
Alan.
Alan?
Yes,
They're with you.
I'm
Hey.
here.
Hey, Alan. So, can you please introduce yourself and just talk about your use of the platform?
Sure. So I'm Alan Gumbel. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Black Chamber of Memphis. We are a membership-based organization, and our goal is to support the growth and development of Black businesses to create wealth in our community. We've used remoting.work for now a little bit over a year. And we use remoting.work in two different capacities. One, over a year ago, we reached out to Tony to identify some personnel that we needed to really help manage our membership effort. For many years, we offered a free membership, and we needed to focus on converting those free memberships into paid memberships. But, and I can endorse what Janice said in her video from Bluff City Party in terms of the ease of working with and the kind of talent that is available through the platform. But our experience with hiring Nkechi has been just superlative. I can't say enough about it. It has allowed us to focus on creating membership and creating value in that membership in ways that we didn't when we didn't have somebody who was focused on that role, 40 hours a week, 2,400 hours a year. And so I think what I've been impressed by more than anything is Nkechi's willingness and ability to understand the context of American business. We spend a lot of time talking about the local business conditions, so she understands the work that we do here at the Black Chamber. So if there's a concern that you have, how will this international staff integrate with our local staff and understand our local context, I can assure you the people that remoting.work presents have that ability and really will add value to the work that you do. And then the second person that we've hired through remoting.work, and we've had someone who's really come on and taken over our social media and marketing efforts and web design. And Rosalind, who we hired, who's actually based in South Africa, has essentially rebuilt our entire website and made it far more responsive than anything that we've ever had. But the ability to understand working in our local context is truly remarkable, and the quality of work that that staff members have generated and their participation in our work as team members has been impressive and very valuable to us. What it's really allowing us to do is allow us to focus on those other aspects of growth that we need to focus on, knowing that those back office aspects of the organization are well taken care of. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have, but it's been a remarkable relationship, and we look forward to continuing.
I'm curious as to how long it took her to rebuild your website. And I don't know if we're discussing costs, but also the cost around her taking over marketing.
So from start to finish, it probably took her maybe a month or so to redesign it. We had a local company that was hosting it. And because of some of the functionality that we wanted to build into it, including a searchable business directory, it had to be rebuilt from the ground up. So she started working on the redesign 2 months before she took over complete management of that process. So it wasn't pieced out as a separate project. It was just part of her general responsibilities of doing the web design as well as social media and marketing.
What is your website, please?
Black Chamber of Memphis.
And I think the question that she's asking too is what did it cost on a monthly basis for her to do the work?
And I don't have the invoice in front of me, but I think the total is probably 1,500 a month, roughly.
And she built the site, and then what are her other responsibilities?
She also generates all of our social media posts. So she helps manage Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We don't really use Twitter or X here, but if there are events that we hold, so for example, we have our quarterly networking session coming up next Thursday. She designed the flyer for that. We have a special initiative called the Black Ledger, which honors Black organizations that have contributed to the vitality of the business environment and community environment. She's generated all of the content for that based upon surveys that she designed. So, I mean, she really has been a remarkable addition that has simplified a lot of the work that we need to do.
Yeah, it's a
To
beautiful, it's a good looking site.
Thank you.
Opportunity for this is Charles DeBow, the National Black Chamber, and
Hey.
we understand your disposition. I'm in the same exact position. You heard Larry's testimony right there. You don't have to worry so much about recreating as much as part of what's going to come out of this call today is what you might call a template. Every chamber needs a social media component. Every chamber needs a functioning website. We all need that interface and follow up with our constituents, whether they be the members, the sponsors, the partners, the market initiatives. I need you to be able to accept a national program that we may roll out. One of the things that we have to give also credit to Memphis and the Memphis Chamber, the Memphis, all the economic engines that Tony and the team have touched upon there. They've even come out with an economic development strategy for the city of Memphis that if you're able to take a small business entrepreneur and have them employ two people, it becomes part of a huge workforce development movement that does benefit the community. In terms of the site building and whatnot, I believe, Tony, and you correct me, I believe we can make that into just a standard. Here's a person that does that. They're going to need X number of hours per month or per week, and you have an option. You can go full 8-hour days, 5 days a week, or you can just go part time. And so one of those might be 1,000 a month, another might be 1,500 a month. You determine your budget. The other thing that we want to keep in mind is we are, in fact, want to measure a return on investment. If you put 1,500 a month out, can it bring you back 1,500? Can it bring you back 3,000? And part of what we're experiencing now is people are looking for a compass in the woods. Out here in our world right now, there's a lot of lost businesses wandering around. We're pulling together, we're bringing that type of resources and services. And particularly as you are part of the Illinois State Black Chamber, you're going to be leaders in the nation for bringing that type of resource and services back to the universe, back to America. So, Larry, I would love to go ahead and commit right now to supporting whatever initiative that you have coming out of it. Tony, I'll be here to tell you now. I need the social media person. I need the website maintenance or updating. We got a new site coming. Just yesterday, we did a huge piece on Capitol Hill. Actually, the day before yesterday. And
Charles,
so with
Charles,
that, we're gonna need public policy. We're gonna need a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
yeah,
Thank you.
sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to just please, I want to get Slight Tate to say a few words before he has to exit. He's also a client that, from an IT perspective, can we just have him say a few because he has to, he's gonna have to leave. Are you there, Sylvester?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me well?
Okay. Yes, please. Yes, can hear you now.
Great. Yeah, so I run a company called Itonics here based in Memphis. By the way, disclaimer, Tony has not paid me in anything but value from remoting.work to be here today. But ultimately, I wouldn't miss the opportunity for us to add to the conversation. I mean, also to add to the momentum that is us thinking about different ways to get things done in our community, right? We have 40 people working for our organizations. We're a 38-year-old company founded by my father, second generation family owned. We're also a service disabled veteran owned small business. And over the years, we've had to reinvent ourselves multiple times to stay relevant. The world moves fast, right? And even so, in this year, we actually renamed. We used to be called Take Computer Systems. We're now Itonics, is evidenced by my hat and maybe the background too for some of you, if you can see it. Um, as a part of our growth strategy, remoting.work has become absolutely critical. And when we think about what it takes for us to pivot or say, hey, we want to go and do that new thing, which a lot of our focus now is on artificial intelligence and enabling those workflows within organizations that we work with. It was a no-brainer that, hey, we're going to do this. The types of people that we would have to hire here locally are going to be north of six figures. And ultimately, we were presented with an option where we could get a whole team significantly less than six figures. And I think that just the economics of something like that matters a ton. Now, we don't put all of our remoting employees in a specific role that is customer facing. However, we do focus primarily on making sure some of those back office functions that are critical to us being able to deliver quotes in a timely fashion, delivering proposals in a timely fashion, making sure that customers are followed up with in a timely fashion. Really, we kind of picture it as the next best thing to AI, right? We do have folks working in sales operations, and then we also have folks working as cloud service engineers. Yesterday, I just finished a project with a local nonprofit, completely run and led by our cloud services engineer from remoting. And so, it's revenue producing, right, at the end of the day. And, also, I think one of the greatest things has been the availability piece too. Uh, I don't know exactly how many days they get off, but I do know that they're here every day when I need them. And that's been a huge help to us being able to honor our contractual obligations, make sure that someone is monitoring and managing many of the systems that we use to deliver value to our customers at the end of the day. And so, if you're thinking about taking the leap, I'd encourage you to have the conversations that are necessary to actually talk about some of the risks that might be involved with your business. I went to Tony and I was like, hey, at certain times I don't have time to well, what does security look like here, right? Like, how do we manage the security? And ultimately, we talked about it, we figured it out, right? What does that was on the cybersecurity front specifically. And then I even went to the place where I said, okay, well, if what does it look like for us to have people coming in and working in roles that I don't have JDs for? Right. I need to move fast, but I don't have time to write a JD this week. What can you do for me, Tony? And Carolyn has jumped in several times. When I needed something to be further clarified, I'll give her a few lines to say, I think I need somebody that does this. And she would draft the entire JD that ultimately allowed us to better fit the job description to the skills that they had available at the time. Right. And so it was really an awesome experience end to end for what we've been able to do with the resources that we have. Definitely open to questions and can answer any if anyone has one here in the last couple minutes that I'm on the call.
Good, good, good. Any questions for Sylvester?
Hey, Sylvester, this is
Yeah.
Larry. You've been able to hire a number of people. You mentioned Carolyn in terms of how quickly has your turnaround been in terms of once you decide the job description, how quickly do they turn around and they find someone for you at this point in time? What's been your
Yeah.
experience?
So typically the process has been within a week. I have 3 to 4 resumes that are lined up and they're all screened. And so after that, it's really I'm more of the bottleneck than they ever are, to be honest, with my schedule. And even Carolyn probably now have an open requisition that we still need to get on the calendar in order for us to get rolling. So I've never been slowed down on that front. To your question, Dr. Ivory.
It does. And Tony, I want to mention this real quick because one of the services that you offer is something that non-for-profits, because we have some non-for-profits are part of our organization. And you guys have grant writers also, as I understand, that will write what 3 or 4 grants a week. Can you give me some perspective on that?
Yeah.
And then keep moving because we do want to finish with Dr.
Yes.
Doc.
Okay. Yes. So part of a function that you can hire for is a grant writer. We actually one of the areas that I think Donald is working with Carolyn on right now is that because he wants to. I'm not sure if he's on, but he want I don't want to tell his business, but he wants to start applying for like small grants with corporations around the country. $1,000, $5,000, because what it does is he's an agriculture business, which is one of those things that we need more funds in on. So so any form of grant writing, that's not a big deal. But I want to first of all thank Alan and Sylvester for taking the time because I know, I know Sylvester, you're running late for a meeting and Alan stepped out of their staff meeting to help to say a few words. So I want to say thank you guys for your time. If there's no other questions, if you want to exit, that's fine. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Tony,
thanks for having us. Thanks for having
Tony,
us, Tony.
just to follow up on Sylvester's comment, I was the local deputy director of the workforce board here for many years, and I will tell you that the responsiveness of getting quality candidates and the platform that they use to move from identifying the role that you need to have filled and the presentation of quality candidates and the ease of interviewing them and onboarding them is something that our local systems could definitely should take notice of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Great
right.
stuff. And I'm going to head out. Shameless plug. If you all need anything on the IT front, we work with mid-sized SLED businesses as well as healthcare. If you ever have any questions on that front, info@itonics.com, info@itonics.com, and also visit our website, www.itonics.com. Those are 2 great options for you to get connected with me.
Can you define mid-size?
It would be 250 or more. So 250 to 2,400 is typically that scope.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
I want to mention something. Please go ahead, Ellen.
No, I was just saying goodbye. And if anybody has any questions, please reach out to me through our website. I'll be glad to respond to any additional questions you have.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We appreciate you.
Bye, Ellen.
Thank you.
Hey, Tony,
Thank you.
to time, can you go over real quickly the costs? Because I think that's important because one of the things
Yes.
my members is that we're always trying to grow small business and get them to the next level. And a lot of times, as Tony has already clearly stated, that we can't really afford to pay someone $70,000, but we could afford to pay someone $1,300 or $1,500 a month to do 40 hours of work a week for us. That gives us really the bandwidth to do more and accomplish more. And that doesn't mean you don't have to pay Social Security, you don't have to pay any no FICA, nothing. That's just the fee that you pay. And that's it. That is as simple as it gets. You don't have to pay workman's comp. You don't get a workman's comp claim. He said, I haven't got one thus far. Yet, Tony, if I get one, I'll let you know. But I don't have a workman's comp claim. And we're getting ready to hire several more people. But it really, for one person that it would normally hire for the chamber, I can literally hire 4 people full time, 8 hours a day, um, 5 days a week. It just allows you an opportunity to scale. And I'm excited for our members to get to embrace this. So I'll yield back to you, Tony.
So, quickly, I mean, for us, it's fairly simple. When you go to the platform, you have to, the way you engage us is you post a job, but we'll move on from there. So if you can click on pricing up there, Carolyn. So we have a calculator. Okay, very good. So it's fairly simple. You select full-time. Let's just do full-time. And then let's just select executive assistant or something like that. Just type it in. Okay. Select it. And then just intermediate skill set. And 6 month. And cloud computing. Yeah, right there. Okay, let's get it. And then let's select the date. So let's say the 30th. They want to do something. They want to hire somebody 30th. Okay. And you calculate your estimate. And so essentially, for an executive assistant that will also do your social media, your marketing, and also some of your web content, that's essentially what it costs.
And Lightbook.
And Lightbook, yeah, exactly. It's very, very descriptive. It breaks down. If you look to your right, you see the current pay period, next pay period, exactly what you paid. Very, very explicit, everything that you would pay per month. If you look down there, you see on your left, it says $1,300. Okay, that's your monthly fee. But when at the initial sign up, there's a one-time setup fee of $349. That's and that's added right there. That's why it's $1,500. The platform fee is waived. There's no platform fee for the first year. As so you're looking at roughly around $1,300 a month. And with our partnership with the chamber, you get the first month, you get $500 removed from the first month with our partnership with the chamber as well.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, I've got to mention that.
I do want to emphasize the fact that we were allowed a $150,000 grant from MoteWorks that allows us to give our members who get into the system $500 discount on their first month's fee. Yeah. So if it's 1302, you would take that from that, and it'll be 800 into the
person. Right.
Yeah. And then again, this is 40 hours a week. It handles everything. You don't, again, you pay one fee, everything's done for you. So it's very, and we've made it very, very descriptive. So there's no ambiguity. It's very clear. If you scroll down, everything. So it's just fairly simple. Can you go up? Go up and let's just go to the main page, Carolyn. Yep. And I just click post a job. Okay. Full time. It's fairly straightforward. Then scroll down. Okay. And so it walks you through. This is sort of the first way you get into the platform. It's sort of connected with LinkedIn. So there's a connection with this stuff with LinkedIn. You select what you want, put in your level, you scroll down, and then okay, just select anything for now. Just, it doesn't have to be. Just select something. Yeah. Okay. Scroll down and just select anything. It doesn't have to be. Okay. And then you can put some objectives there. Okay. And then just click next. Okay. Next. And then we also look at personality traits. Okay. Because on the back end, the people that they also have to take a personality trait on their back end too. So it's almost like a, dating thing in a sense of a match. Yes. So you select what you want here. You scroll down, you have to select something. Yeah, just quickly do that. So it's fairly straightforward. Not a big deal. Okay. And any additional details, and then the AI will generate a sample for you. You can click it. So and here's the thing, a couple of things. What we tell people all the time is we want to work with you. We would rather for you to do a discovery call with Caroline or one of the team members so we can help you through the process, okay? So you're not feel lost in the beginning. So I just want to mention that.
Let me thank Tony. Let me thank all of you for being on the call. But we had two components today. One of the other things that we work on is that we try to build relationship with people who can add value to our members. And Dr. Erica Blakely is one of those very talented people who have done taxes for major corporations, people like, Delta Airlines, and the list goes on and on. But she has an offer that she's making to our members at a significant price break that is unbelievable. So we want to make sure that our members know about it. We also, we assume that some of you are going to call us in reference to remote works to get more acquainted with. Everybody asked me if they could, for those who couldn't get on, they want to make sure that this was recorded. Tony, was this whole event recorded?
Yes, sir. Yes, it was.
Several people said, Larry, can you record that for me? So I want to make sure we can do that. Again, special thanks to Chuck DeBow for having the insight to reach out to Tony and then send Tony to us. And we do plan to take full advantage of this for our own benefit because this really does take us to another level and allows us to grow and participate. So at this time, I'm going to introduce an incredible young lady who's going to talk to us a little bit about what she's offering our members, and any member, quite frankly, whether you be from Illinois. I don't think it's exclusive to Illinois. I assume that she may take people from other states also. So this time, let me introduce the one and only Erica, Dr. Erica Blakely.
Thank you, Dr. Larry. I appreciate it. So thank you guys for that, Tony. That was amazing. Appreciate your time. So as a CPA, I work with entrepreneurs every day, but let me tell you the difference in surviving and scaling. It comes down to one thing, in my opinion, that's understanding your numbers. You know how to hustle, you know your business, all of those things, but what do they not know is financial infrastructure, the infrastructure of your finances. That is what actually supports growth in a company. So Dr. Larry gave you a little bit about who I am. I just want to tell you guys, show you that these are some of my clients. You've watched, you've cruised, traveled, watched, what have you. But those are the companies I worked for. On that corporate side, I do financial reporting. So when you hear people talk about XYZ company release their numbers, or those are the things that I do, SEC reporting for public companies. On an entrepreneur side, I've worked with entrepreneurs on a regular basis, helping you understand your numbers. So when we talk about surviving or scaling your business, the businesses that scale aren't necessarily smarter or working any harder. Those are the ones that build systems around their finances. They know their numbers monthly, not just at tax time, which is what too many people do. You definitely have your business and personal things separated. You're consistently tracking profit and expenses. Knowing what's going on throughout the year for your business helps you to pivot to make sure you either increase whatever it is that you're doing or decrease something that may not be working. But you have to know that throughout the year, making those decisions, not just guessing at it, building operational support around accounting and reporting. Small businesses that scale, they actually don't, again, work harder. They just build systems around their finances. These are some of the things that we do. Let me ask you guys a couple of questions. You don't have to answer, just think about them. How many of you in this room or on this call actually know the profit last month from you, or what revenue came in from your business? Probably not many of you. My other question is just, again, thought provoking things. If I asked you today what your tax liability might look like from last year, would you have a clear answer of that? The other thing is, how many of you are actually making business decisions based on the numbers, not just guessing or whatever your instinct is? Those are the things that we have to get people to understand. That is why accounting matters. All businesses need accounting. Most entrepreneurs are working hard, but they don't have the financial systems that support that real growth. And you only think about accounting once a year. That's when tax season shows up. That's not accounting at all. That's literally just tax preparation. It's not even understanding how your business perform every month or any of that. Accounting literally is the simple tracking of the money movement through your business, tells you what you're actually making, where the money's going, whether your business is growing, whether it's struggling. Also helps you just understand those numbers so that you can help make better decisions. So what Dr. Larry and I have talked about over the last several months, probably about 6+ months, I believe, before I introduce the programs that we've worked on to present to you guys, Dr. Larry, he's dedicated his time to expanding opportunities and resource for Black businesses. So this is one of the reasons that our conversation even started happening about these things. One of the biggest gaps that entrepreneurs face is access to financial guidance and support. Most people think they need a CPA, but what they really need is just programs designed to address the lack of access. Access has always been one of those things for me that I feel like is important. So the first program that we've designed is called the CPA Access Hub. What you get for that is accounting support, financial guidance, a community design that helps the entrepreneurs grow with confidence. We do training on a regular basis. So it's like hiring a CPA or a consultant that would normally cost you thousands of dollars. The CPA Access Hub is, hold on to your seats, $100 a month. $100 a month. And after you've been on the program for I think it's 4 months, you actually get tax preparation free every year thereafter. So just think about that. You have your own CPA access for $100 a month for your business. So that's a QR code for that. Some of the trainings that we do, whether it's pricing that you need, whether it's marketing, systems, technology, all the things, we do those trainings. There may even be some times that we bring in experts to help you with some of those things. So this is really just designed for entrepreneurs who want to grow their business, their structure, and have the support as well. Now, if you're thinking about, again, it's tax time, we've talked about that. Dr. Larry has also helped me to understand the need for this, and we've agreed to provide tax preparation support for entrepreneurs through that. Many of you guys pay thousands of dollars for tax preparation, rushing through, not understanding. You just want to get to the number, and most of y'all are focused on what the refund is. We got to change that thought process. But Dr. Larry has convinced us to offer, again, for personal tax return and business tax return, CPA review, explanation of those things for only $500 for the year. Again, that is something unheard of, to have a CPA prepare your personal and business tax returns for $500 a year. So those are those two programs that we've worked over the last 6 months or so to bring to you guys. He mentioned it. Yes, it's the Illinois State Black Chamber. It was his thought process and his baby to create. However, it is available for Black Chamber members across the country. It is not exclusive to the Illinois state. So if you're really serious about growing a business, just understanding the numbers, those QR codes will get you what you need for the CPA Access Hub and also tax preparation. So when we talk about, I want to, in respect of everybody's time, I want to make sure you understand that surviving and scaling is not just working harder. It's making sure you're building the right systems, financial systems around your business, And if you're ready to take that next step, you'll scan either of those QR codes. I'll go back. That's the tax preparation one, and then that's the CPA Access Hub one as well. So whether your goal is to grow your business or simply run it with confidence and clarity, either of those programs will be able to support the entrepreneurs for exactly where you are right now. I am happy to take any questions you guys may have at this juncture.
Well, I'm gonna just make this real quick comment, and I'm gonna yield to everybody else. You know what Dr. Blakely had just said for doing taxes, and what she's offering is just amazing, and an incredible benefit to all of us. And I'm excited to have her as a partner. And I definitely appreciate her expertise and knowledge. And um, this is a game changer, also. So I'll yield to any other questions that anyone else has.
Any questions?
Okay,
Mr.
James, go ahead.
James?
Thank you first, Dr. Lever. Thank you for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. I had basically two questions. Forgive me, I'm really not good at speaking in real time. I'm more better at thinking in real time. My first question was, I don't know if Tony is still on, but I wanted to know, like, I want to start a tech company, and I want my product brand to be a live streaming platform. Now, I've been formulating this with ChatGPT over the last couple of days, talking to it for hours every day. I'm trying to figure out how would your company benefit me, because it's telling me to do the minimum viable product. It's saying how much I could save by starting a minimum viable product, but I also want to know how much I could save by doing a maximum viable product, because I want as many features as possible for the live streaming platform to go. And then my second question was, I'm trying to figure out what this means, because I didn't yesterday it told me this, but I had to go to sleep so I can get up to be for this meeting. So I went to bed before I could ask it. But it said investor return projection 10 years. Initial investment 10,000, projected value at year 10 600,000, initial investment 25,000, projected value at year 10 1.5 million, initial investment 50,000, projected value at year 10 3 million.
I can answer that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to
defer to you.
Basically, what that is telling you is the more money you put in up front, the more things you're able to do quicker to get to that value. So that's really the difference. The more money you have to spend up front in your investment now and getting your business started, that allows you to add different systems and people and teams or whatever those things may be. But the more money you have, the broader your reach will be, and that'll just also help on the long run increase
Okay.
your projected value of the business. That's all.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
And to answer your question, one thing I would, if you want to build a tech company, you can use AI to help, okay? But you're still going to need humans to put it together. And what I would recommend, I mentioned that in the earlier conversation, is that if anybody that is in here, I think that you should be part of a community, okay? And particularly the community of Illinois State Black Chamber, okay? It's very important for you to be a member of something, because if you're not a member of something, then you're doing everything on your own. I think becoming a member is catalytic to your journey, because for me, if I didn't have the network and communities I was part of over the past 27 years, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm way more smarter because of the community I've joined over the years. So, and yes, there's a fee, but that's just part of what you have to do. When you go to McDonald's, there's a fee you have to pay for McDonald's. So, but this is a fee. The chamber fee is a fee that helps feed your business. And so I think it's very
Iron
important.
sharpens iron.
Yes. So I just want to mention that, because that's what you want to do, you can accomplish. But you're gonna, you want to be part of the community that, can help you grow. So to answer your question, yes, we can help you find AI developers, like people that would take sort of what you get from ChatGPT and make all the additional tweaks you need to
Bring it
and
to
yes,
life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But bring it to life. You still need when you're looking at a series of code that AI gives you, you need to know what you're looking at. So it's just that simple. I'll give you a scenario. I mean, a big part of the development team for remoting.work as a platform. Okay. There's a team in Africa and there's a team in India, just so you know. It was all built offshore. The administrative team, they're all here in Memphis, Tennessee. But as far as the developers and all that, it's offshore because it makes sense. It's just, so that's my advice to you. To do what you're trying to do here, I mean, it's just, it's going to cost too much money. So just to answer your question. Okay. And I'll yield back to Dr. Ivory.
Well, I'm gonna ask.
Can I ask Dr. Erica Blakely a question?
Right here. Yes.
Okay, doctor.
ma'am.
We First of all, can I get your information? Because I'm definitely going to need you.
Yes, ma'am.
Second of all, we have just the project that we're working on just became a 501c3, and we have 21 acres of property and it's 706,000 square feet. But we need to. I think there's like a tax procedure you got to go through to complete the exemption. Are you familiar with that? Because it is.
You mean your state exemption?
Yes. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and I can walk you through that. You would not have to pay me. I can walk you through that, but the 501c3 from the IRS is separate from the state exemption.
Okay. And we definitely do need, we're looking for an accountant too. I've been calling people this week trying to find someone. So if
Yeah.
you have an interest, we have a need.
Let me give you thanks you for reminding me of that. I didn't get to the slide with our contact information, but we're your select CPA on all platforms and Black Zenith Hub .org on all platforms as well. But the number that you can reach us, your select CPA is
Just
800
what's the number?
800 758
Mhm.
1997.
Okay. Thank you. I will be giving you a call. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Doctor.
ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sam, did you have a question, Sam Stillwell?
Yes, I did.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
Dr. Erica, I had a question about your tax prep services.
Yes.
Pulled up the QR code, and I was just wondering, does this also apply to someone who might have complex personal taxes? Like, let's say you got some 1099 INTs, you have several other forms included in that. Is it limited?
We won't separate your forms of getting to your income. If it's your personal return, that is all encompassing and your business return. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah, we
awesome.
don't
That's
do
good
like a
to know.
per form or anything like that.
Okay.
That's
And
incredible.
then
Okay.
the process, because it's saying that you kind of provide oversight and explanation. Is the process like I'm on a software filing my taxes with someone helping me, or how does that look?
No, so we have done the classes in our facility, but what this encompasses is you'll send us all your information and we'll have a call that goes through the detail, but we will perform and do everything and then we will get on a call together and walk through it so you understand each of those lines, what everything is, if we need to tweak anything before we push a button to file.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we have our president of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, my dear friend and colleague who we are fighting constantly. Chuck, you have any specific questions that you have? Because our goal is from a state chamber, there's over 140,000 Black business in the state of
Yeah.
Illinois. The third largest concentration. Our goal is to convert 14,000 members, mean convert to 14,000 members. We're building our database out. We're offering these services to our members. We hope, Tony, that we're going to get to over 1,000 people who will be using your service. The same thing with Dr. Blakely. Our job is to help our people, make sure they understand
Yes.
the value added we bring to the table. And as we strengthen the chamber on the policy side in our political pack, it strengthens our hand to do anything we want to do in the state of Illinois. Chuck, I'll yield to you if you have any particular questions.
I just want to be very supportive and encouraging and tell you that we need it. All of you, including you, Dr. Blakely, we got plenty of global market out here to put our hands in and to work with. And we can, it's kind of like peeking through the window, but you can't get into the party because we don't have the capacity and we haven't transferred it. And we are formidable as we aggregate our resources and become able to supply bigger and demands. And as we all know, we have a chance to get our foot in the door, but we can't do it as micro enterprises individually. We've got to do it as an aggregate force. So for today's sake, let me give my testimony too. Carolyn is sitting here, she's looking away. That sister right there is dynamic, and she's very dynamic because she does only what God has gifted her to do, and that is to match the right person with your business and what you need. And she does it in a subtle way. She doesn't tell you. They gave me 3 candidates. Let me tell you, all I was like, I don't know. I don't really need an assistant, but what are they gonna do? Help me schedule some meetings or what? I'm from that. I'm one of them people that be trying to carry my own luggage into the hotel, and like grab onto it if the bellman tries to reach it. So the point was, 2 of them were lawyers. One of them had been had run a national nonprofit. The other one was, I mean, they could have done any job, anything, anywhere. But they were so humble and had suppressed their personalities to come in as somebody's assistant. I was really taken by that and wanted to kind of like, no, we got to lift you up. We got to do it. They said, no, just let us do. Well, the young lady I ended up working with turned out that she had a master's degree in bio engineering or biology, but all she wanted to do was be the best she could be, and she killed it. She turned out to be the best that I'd ever somebody, and I had help vetting and making the match may come up. Carolyn is the one who does that, and before we ain't taking no for an answer here. Before you can say anything, you got to at least talk to her, find out like the type of criteria. This thing and this testimony we got today on the website building and the social media, that's one that we got to go on because it directly hits your bottom line. Larry, thank you so much for including me and making sure I didn't miss it. But what now we want to take everybody that signs up, everybody that comes in now, we're going to embrace not only your business, your products and what you're doing. So if you're a chamber, we're going to drive traffic to you because now you have no geographical restrictions. And we'll go with that. But this meeting went a little bit longer, and the feedback that you give us is very important. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. And I say that to from a national perspective. So if we don't hear from you, if we don't know, and Larry, let me tell you, Larry's done a magnificent job, but Larry's also our chairman and somebody I look to for leadership and guidance as well. So we thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Again, Dr. Blakely, Tony, I don't know if there's any, Charles Harrell. Charles, you have any questions? I see him coming up. I didn't know if he had a question.
No. Excellent program. Really appreciate bringing them to the table. And so I look forward to participating.
So, Dr. Larry, I just wanted to say between Tony and what we offer, you're looking at less than $1,500 a month to scale your business to the level of any public company.
Super. Hey, that's exciting. Now we just got to now we got to be like the disciples. We got to be disciples and go out and spread the word. And that's really where
Amen.
the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
We owe this to
Yeah.
our people and to our businesses to change this scenario of being entrepreneurs to being organizations and businesses that are growing, expanding. And when that happens, we're able to make more money, give more money. It's so many things that happen from this. This is an imperative, in my opinion, if we're going to be relevant we cannot miss this opportunity to embrace the talent that we have collectively, to support what we have globally. And I'm excited about the journey, but the journey is, it's a step, but we have to put the work into it in order to drive the numbers. So we're going to hold ourselves to some numbers. We're going to track those numbers. We're going to look at every week how well we've done, how we drive business, Erica, to you, and how we drive business to Tony that drives business back to our members.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a question.
Go right ahead.
Is it 1,500 per employee or for a group of employees?
Tony,
So
answer that question.
yes. So again, and the cost varies, okay, based on the role. So I would suggest, just meet with Carolyn, and she can walk you through all that stuff. So, but
Okay.
yeah, so it's not a big deal. But typically, on average, it's between $1,300, to about $1,500. It depends on the various factors. So.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, just talk to her. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can be reached at CLANTON at remoting.work.
And
That's and also about repeat that CLANTON at remoting.work, as well as at 901-333-1010. That's real easy. 901-333-1010.
Thank you, Carolyn. Hey,
You're
well,
welcome.
if there's any other questions, guys, we've gone way beyond our time. But it's okay to go beyond your time when you got something relevant that you're saying, and I think it was a relevant conversation. Gregory, thank you for being on the call, and team and team remote work team, and Dr. Blakely, and to Chuck and everybody else, and to all our members and all our potential members. Let's stay connected. Let's give us a call. Let us know what we can help you on, and let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, guys. Let's drive the numbers.